community diary will be upcoming, along with health, beauty and wellness. What are we looking at? We are looking at ageing well. Well, fingers crossed. Let's see how that goes. You're very welcome back to the programme. I'm very glad to say that joining us in studio this Friday morning is Karen McElherron from Esker Rí Nursing Home, Regional Operations Manager there. Karen, how are you keeping this morning?
I'm great, David. Thanks very much for having me here today.
Not at all. So we're generally talking about ageing and ageing well,
yes.
and the ways in which we care to do that, and we want those that we know and love to be going through that process.
Yeah.
I understand Esker Rí Nursing Home has joined Evergreen Care. What does that mean, like in practical terms, for staff and residents and their families that they've joined the Evergreen Care family?
Okay. So currently we now have 11 with Esker Rí joined us. We have 11 care homes now within the Evergreen Care group. And what it means is that they can avail of more investment, support services from our central head office, and that would include myself, the operations team, the CEO, and also our extended head office group, so HR, accounts department. So it means then we're able to allow the PIC in Esker Rí, which Breda and her team, to continue to care for the residents and to focus on their needs and developing, opportunities for residents to have the optimum outcome for them when they're in Esker Rí. They have lots of different opportunities for admissions, whether it's long term, whether it's for respite, rehabilitation, post-op surgery. So there's lots of opportunity for them to come into the home and to improve and rehabilitate. And Esker Rí actually is quite unique that they have full-time physios every day in Esker Rí as well. So it is very much based on rehabilitation within that specific home.
It occurs to me as I listen to you that some of the language you use is probably already reassuring for those who are listening who might be either considering Esker Rí or indeed have family members there, is that you know the people who've been running this place by name already.
Yes,
you consider your company, or you consider Evergreen to be a family business in the first place. So for those listening, one of the key things I'm sure you're looking to underline here is that it's not a faceless takeover, and there's no threat involved there. Your main objective, I presume, is the welfare of the residents.
Absolutely. I mean, it'd be supporting Breda, who's the person in charge. I've had the privilege of being in the home for the last few weeks, and we would normally do that. We would come in and we would support the home just for that transition period from the previous owners to the new owners, and to give assurances for family that things will not change. If anything, they will change for the better. And I suppose we are in a position where we can share opportunities that we've had in other homes, and we're able to transfer them and discuss those with Breda and her team and make suggestions. Look, we've tried this in other homes, maybe this would work for you. So for me, it's been a very positive experience. I can't speak highly enough about the staff. They're absolutely amazing team in Esker Rí.
On your website, you talk about taking a fresh approach to nursing home care. That's what does it mean in practical terms? What's your guys' idea of a fresh approach?
Well, I mean, for me, certainly, I've worked in the care home sector for a long, long time. I initially worked in acute sector in the hospital, and then I moved very quickly into elderly care, and I became a manager quite early in my career.
Yeah.
And for me, the fresh approach is this is a career that you can choose for life. It's not just a hospital setting where you go in and you progress up. You absolutely can progress within Esker Rí from a care assistant position. You can go into your training, continue with us as a student if you want, and come back as a deputy, as a manager. And we've seen that within our other homes, and it's been very, very positive. We know that is the best outcome for our residents, that we retain the staff that we have. We want to support local employment. And to keep that connection with the local community. It's really, really important for us, for each of our homes.
It's a big responsibility, isn't it? That and we hear it said often that the measure of society is how well they take care of those who are the most exposed, be it the young and the old. Yeah. And in that responsibility, or the execution of that responsibility, this state has had a mixed track record, sadly.
Yeah.
So for someone like Evergreen Care, and by extension now Esker Rí Nursing Home, for those that are working there, I imagine it's important from your perspective that they get that on a values perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be very difficult to navigate, there's no doubt. every nursing home across the country is very heavily regulated, and for the right reasons. That can be difficult to navigate. And I mean, we are here as a support to step in and say, look, this is what works best. We can support you to achieve the targets, to achieve the best outcomes for the residents. The resident will always be at the core of every decision that we make. And we will engage with families and with residents on a daily basis to just make sure we achieve that.
Yeah.
And it can be very, very positive. You know, when we try and link in with the local community and maintain those links, that's where we get the best outcomes. We're there to support the family. And if we can, you know, continue that support, the quality time the family have is when they're coming in, they maybe continue their normal, take their mother or father out to Mass on a Sunday, go to the local cafe, continue that normal routine if they're able to. And, you know, from a mobility point of view, they're able to do that. That would be fantastic.
Because we went through those years whereby the nursing homes were almost in an extended lockdown compared to the rest of society and this type of thing, and we knew instinctively like it wasn't right. And I'm sure you saw in practical terms it really did have a negative effect. But from your perspective then, having the wider community and social connectivity being a part of the residents' lives, that's actually like an important welfare marker.
Huge. It's absolutely huge. We need to keep that connection, and that's one of the things we'll be looking to try and, you know, strengthen the connection with the local community through volunteers within the Esker Rí areas, particularly if we're talking about here. And we've had great success in some of the other homes where we have volunteer groups have come in, have brought the residents out, maybe people that haven't got a large extended family and have been more isolated in the community prior to coming into the home. So for them, you know, they've created relationships that maybe they wouldn't have had a chance to before. And it's all about investing, I suppose, in your health. You would talk about pensions, you know, something that Rosetta, our operations director, would talk about is a pension health. You know, invest now in how you're going to be in the future. You know, do everything that you can to try and remain healthy for as long. And that's, you know, social interaction, participating in local sports, rehabilitation, all those sort of things that the HSE are making available through Living Well programme. You know, take an opportunity to participate in those, because you will benefit from those, and you'll be able to tap into all of that at a later years whenever you're potentially in a home. If you're not able to manage at home, it's really important to make that investment in yourself now.
It's actually I think it's something on an individual basis we could be better at being conscious of it.
Absolutely.
Just a final question for this morning, and I appreciate you coming into us, Karen, is how did you get into care? You know, what was it that drew you to work in this industry for as long as you have done?
Well, both my mum and my sisters both were working as nurses. My aunt was, so there's a family background there.
You could see it.
Yeah.
And you knew what it was.
Yeah, absolutely wanted to do that. And I mean, talking about I'm speaking on a personal level, my mother, you know, she was widowed quite early when she was only in her early 50s, and she had a path to take. She could have went down the route of stayed what she was doing. She chose to put herself out there. She joined a local Cayley group, participated at All Ireland level.
Wow.
She learned how to drive. I was teaching her how to drive. I had only learned about 2 years before. So she had choices to make, and she made the right choices. And now she's 84 now, but very active, you know, very well. And that was her. She was invested in her future.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a shout out to everybody to do that.
It's a living example of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that's I'm glad that you're in with us this morning, and those at Esker Rí can hopefully look forward to a continuing bright future for themselves and for the wider Evergreen group as well. That's Karen McElherron, Regional Operations Manager. Thanks for coming into us.
Thank you, David. Thank you.